c5. They think it's just another Sicilian. But then comes g6. The accelerated dragon Sicilian isn't about surviving, it's about hunting and attacking your opponent. In today's video, we'll be learning the most underrated weapon in modern chess. First of all, you need to understand that it cannot be played against d4. Only when white plays e4 can you play the accelerated dragon Sicilian. Here, you will play the move c5. After the most common move knight to f3, you will play g6, which looks like a weird move, but the intention is to put this bishop on the g7 square so that it can attack on this long diagonal. Here, white's most common move is the move d4, where white will try to attack in the center. Here, we'll capture the pawn. After queen takes, which is one possibility, the main move is actually knight takes. We'll be seeing that in a few minutes because that's the most important position. After queen takes, we'll play knight to f6, after which our plan is to play bishop g7. If white plays weird or random moves, we'll play knight to c6 combined with bishop g7 to kick out this queen and to castle our king. Here, what happens if white plays e5, trying to kick away our knight? Well, then we attack the queen, and after it moves back, we can jump our knight to the d5 square, after which bishop to g7 is on the way. We'll castle after that, solidify our pawn structure with d6 or e6. We can also push our queen side pawns here to gain space on the queen side. The queen will go to c7 and all our pieces are developed. Let's see another variation. If the knight captures on d4, we'll go bishop g7 anyways, attacking this knight. Remember, we don't want to capture this knight because our bishop is actually way stronger than this knight. We don't want to trade it. After knight c3, we'll play knight to c6. Now we want a trade of knights. If the knight takes on c6, we'll take back with the b pawn, not the d pawn, because we don't want to allow a trade of queens, in which case it will be harder for us to attack. We take with the b pawn, and after bishop c4, eyeing this weak f7 pawn, we'll simply go with e6. Our plan is to play knight to e7 and pawn to d5, preparing our bishop to get out of this pawn formation and to castle. So after we play knight e7, we'll push d5, put the bishop on the b7 square, play queen c7 and castle, after which our position is very active and easy to play. The first two moves, if your opponent doesn't play the same variations that we are discussing, let's say they play the move knight c3 here, we'll be following the same plans by playing bishop g7 and knight to c6. Okay, the main move is d5, d4, we trade, and now the knight captures. What's our move here? It's bishop to g7. After knight to c3, we'll go knight c6 as we saw in the previous variation. And now white plays bishop e3. This is the best option, right? The plan, it's sneaky. I'll tell you about it soon. They play f3. After we go knight f6, they go f3. What is f3 for? What's the purpose of f3? Well, they want to play queen d2 and then castle long. Good players will follow this plan. If your opponent doesn't know how to play against this opening, they'll play something like bishop c4. In this position, you can follow the same plan that we have seen before with e6, d5, maybe push a6 to prevent any pieces from going to b5. Okay, white goes f3, we castle. The purpose of f3 is to guard the g4 and e4 square so that white can push their pawns to attack our king. This looks scary, but we'll go with d5. The important thing to note is if you don't play d5 as soon as it's available, after you castle and develop these three pieces, if you don't play d5 when it's available, you will lose the game. It seems extreme, but it will be really hard to defend against this attack if you don't play d5. What does d5 aim to do? Well, d5 aims to attack white's center and destabilize it so that your rooks can come to these open files, the d and c files. After that, your position will be really active. Let's see an example line. White will think, let me take this knight, and then they will trade pawns thinking that they can attack. However, this position from a practical standpoint is better for the black pieces. Why? Because black will simply play a move like a6 first, preventing any movement of white pieces to the b5 square. Then black will play the move e5, taking control of the center. After that, the rooks will come to open files. and black will try to push the pawn, gaining a lot of space. Black's pieces are more active in general after taking the center. Black here is better. Now white obviously has many options. Let's say the castle kingside. There are several options here. You can simply take the pawn. And now after f takes e4, they don't have any attack at all. Here you can jump in with the knight, you can attack with the bishop, many options. You just need to follow opening principles, and you need to try to develop all of your pieces as soon as possible. Don't let your opponent get too active, right? Even you need to activate your pieces. These complicating variations, you might think that this opening is so hard to play. How do I play it in a real game? I'll get confused. That's what I used to think too. But here's the thing, once you understand what each piece does individually, for example, this bishop stands here, the knight goes to the c6 square, you can push these pawns sometimes, and you should play a6 to prevent white's movement to the b5 square. Once you understand, especially these two moves, you will be able to play this opening easily. Also, remember to play d5 in that position that we saw just a few seconds ago. If you just follow opening principles and play simple but aggressive chess, then you'll be good and you'll be able to confuse your opponents and absolutely destroy them. Most of your opponents won't even play the moves that I showed you. What they will do is they'll play random moves like a3 or b3, things like that. Well, sometimes your opponents will do that, but you just need to keep following opening principles and follow the plans that were shown in the video. Thanks for watching the video. Train to win. Bye.